welcome to the Nexus. I'm Kev.
And I'm Kirsty.
And this is everything that you get up to issue 40. And I've actually had to put the camera on a wide camera to actually get it all in. Because there's so much. And I mean, there is so much compared to other builds that I've done.
Yeah.
How much actual stuff we've gotten. And, you know, there's loads of little bits in there.
I put them in there to try and keep them a bit safer than just rolling around in a big box.
Yeah, but as you can see, there is lots of bits in there. But obviously, this is the first floor, and there's just so much stuff. Obviously, we'll move that over here slightly. We've got Winnie the Pooh, Olaf's here as well, Mickey somewhere. I thought he was there. We've got a rug there. This is literally everything though. But I mean, you know, you've got things like this and like that, and we've just built so much. And like this, we've got two tables here.
Yeah, little bits and pieces as well. The balloons.
Yeah, we've got a cat here. We've even got a light. That's still operating fine.
Yeah.
We're obviously just building the standard version.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't got none of the extra characters, though they will be. I would have hoped that they would be available at the end of the build. Like other things, I still can't find Mickey. Is he? People are probably going, he's there. I can't. He's there.
You found him?
I can't see him. There's so much there. There he is.
Just mind his tail.
Yeah, there's a few things that are fragile on him.
Breaks yet.
No, we've got Mickey here with his tail that's fragile. The arms on Olaf are really frail as well, actually. But I mean, I'm so.
Mind the cactus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start dropping everything. We've got a little sewing kit here as well. For the Cinderella room, is that?
Yes.
Yeah. We've got the dog thing there. We've got the post.
Yeah,
so there's just
a lot.
There's a lot, and this shows you everything. Now, coming up in the next 20 issues,
we'll do the drawer, don't we?
We'll be doing mainly Winnie the Pooh's drawer,
and putting it together.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
We actually move away from these. So once this gets attached in the next issue to this, there's not.
We then concentrate on doing.
We concentrate on doing a drawing in, like I said, about 20 issues. So we don't move away from that. What I found surprising was we've got the windows here missing, and the boarding along the top here. Now, the windows get done in issue 71. I think 70, 71. We actually fit the windows in. At which point, I think the 3 levels are built.
Well, maybe they've got their reasons.
Yeah, and I don't think we get this part for a while neither, because obviously lighting and stuff has to come through. Wires and stuff have to come through here. Winnie the Pooh's gone for a...
he does have blue tack on.
He does, yeah, and he does stick down really well with the blue tack. So if you're having problems with Winnie the Pooh, your best option is to
or with any of them really.
Yeah, stick a little bit of blue tack, and that works all right. So, but like I said, we've got the chairs there and all the accessories in there. I mean, this is how we keep it. It's just easier to keep a lot of the stuff in the packaging already.
Put it in a plastic tub.
Yeah, there are a few things. Since we're now far in, the first thing is we've decided that we're not going to store a lot of the stuff in the house.
No, because it will be too cluttered.
You've looked at it a few times at the front.
I've decided I'm going to put a lot of it in Winnie the Pooh's drawer.
Yeah, and that's something else I want to come on to in a minute. But yeah, there's a lot of
a lot of it isn't going to be.
No, each room is quite. They've tried to squeeze as much as they can.
Yeah.
In each room, and they've sort of overloaded. I think.
I find it too cluttered.
Yeah, it's a bit too cluttery.
For me personally, it might be fine for everybody else.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of things as well. I think once we're finished building, things like this, I think I'm going to put a bit of blue tack under that and on there as well, because any little knock, I mean any little knock to this, and it'll go down like a house of cards.
I probably won't have them put in the same places that they are on the picture.
Yeah, I think it's quite good to mix it up.
Yeah, like those might be quite nice next to the doors. Yeah,
we're not going to set. I don't think anyone would. I mean, some people might set it up exactly like the magazine.
Exactly.
But I think it's your own.
It's a set up how you
want. Coming on to the drawer. Now I think there's a design flaw in this, and that is to do with the Winnie the Pooh drawer, and that is it's very unseen. Meaning, in order for you to actually get access to it, you've got to keep pulling the drawer open. Now, this is not it's not a house for playing with. This is a sort of collector's item.
It can be played with.
It can be, but it's more of a showpiece collector's item.
Yeah, but then
like most builds and most like dolls' houses really are. You know, a lot of bigger doll houses that people have.
The big ones are,
are for show, and this is really, I think, for show.
That's why places do the little kids ones.
I think this is more for like show wise. But in doing that, you can't see into the basement. There's no way of seeing into the basement unless you pull it out, unless you pull the drawer out. Now, there's a problem with that because obviously this is the size of the house, as you can see, and that's obviously it, and it goes up, and there's going to be obviously a little bit around the side.
Ledge,
but in order to see the drawer would have to be extended out all the time, which means the back step here, which goes down into the basement, would be void, and it would actually fall into this gap, anything. And you'd have to pull the drawer completely out to get the stuff out.
Yeah.
I did have a few ideas, and that was to maybe put perspex on the side of the drawer, because if you can't put it on the front here, because it's going to have a lot of the trellis and the sort of the surrounding base going on it.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be on the side where the drawer comes out. I don't know what the drawer looks like as of yet. I have seen it, but I mean, turning it into a perspex window would be easy.
Be quite tricky.
I think it could be quite easy, but it's at the side of the house.
Yeah.
And you'd have to. Not only that as well. There is 2 rooms, or one room in the Winnie the Pooh's basement. It's not just a drawer. There's actually a separate room in there, and you would have to get another perspex to see into that. I think perspex screen across the front of this instead of a case, because I think a display case for this would be too expensive and too big to get a display case to go over it. I'm not saying you can't get it and it's not possible. What I'm saying is it just might be a bit sort of out the realm of price wise, because even the car ones that we do, the 1/8 scale cars, which aren't very big, you're still looking at like nearly 100, 200 quid. And this is like 4 times the size of one.
Yeah.
The Route Master that they do, or they did do, which Agora now does, they do some companies do a display case for that, and I think it's at the £300 or £400 mark. And this is bigger, so you're looking at more money for that. But I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it
might get expensive.
It might get expensive. So what I was thinking of doing is putting perspex along the front, so you don't have the front of the house on. It's just perspex glass, so you can still see in it. Otherwise, instead of taking off the front of the house each time, you could keep it off. You could actually switch the lights on. It'd all light up, and you wouldn't have to keep swipping and stopping.
If you then want to move things about.
Yeah. Obviously, that's another thing as well. Moving stuff about. Like I said, a lot of this will have to be. Like I said, things like this, I think, would have to be sort of blue tack down, because, like I said, a little knock and it will come absolutely fly down. I would also suggest that it be now your best time now.
To find your spot.
To find your spot for this, where it's going to go, because you're
just gonna keep building up and up now.
Yeah, you're going to find trouble now.
Find it too heavy to pick up to move.
Yeah, you're going to find it heavy to pick up and move. So a lot of this will probably now, going forward, might be filmed where we're going to be doing it. I don't know, but keep moving it at the moment. Like I said, at the moment, once this gets put on, we
This
complete
bit then doesn't get
yeah
touched.
we sort of completely move away from it for quite a while we're doing it, because the basement, the drawer is done separate. It doesn't keep sliding in and out.
Yeah.
We sort of do it separate, and we don't touch that sort of side of the house. The only time we start touching it is when we start building the upper level.
Yeah.
Again, but obviously I think we'll have to start filming it not where we normally film it.
Yeah, it'll have to be filmed where it's going to be sat.
Yeah, we'll have to film it where over there where it's going to be sitting. So my suggestion to you guys is to find somewhere permanent now, because like I said, it's going to be a bit tricky moving this backwards and forwards. Like I said, next 20 issues or thereabouts, I think it might be more or less, I'm entirely sure. The drawer is separate, so you can work on that on your space like we're going to.
Yeah.
Once you start adding on to this, that is when it's going to become tricky for us to film it and for you guys to work on it as well. So you're going to have to find, instead of moving it about, this is now the perfect time to find a space for it. But I can't get over the amount of accessories that we've got, and the stuff that we've built as well has been really good. You know, we've built a lot of the tables here.
Some bits have been tricky.
Yeah, I think overall it's been really good. The thing is as well, we've got things like this as well, which is I like, which is our first craft thing. It's not the only craft thing we're going to do. I think the next crafting thing we do is the bunting for Mickey's room.
Yeah.
But there's loads of other stuff. I believe there's sewing involved as well. Right, so we're making little cushions instead of cushions that are already pre-made. I think we actually get cushions that we have to make, so we have to sew them.
Right.
So I mean, this is.
So that's not going to be a 5-minute video.
No, and I think also as well, this is going to be. It's going to get more complex, I think, because we're going to have wiring, lights, and all that sort of stuff going into it.
You'll be all right with that.
And stuff. Yeah, electrics are right up my street. But yes, but this is, like I said, you let us know how you think this is going. I think it's going remarkably well. Considering how much stuff we've got. I mean, you don't really realise until you've got it all out here.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this as well is not even actually out of the packagings. You know, I mean, we've kept a lot of it in the packaging to keep it safe. But even with not of it all out of the packaging, you can still clearly see there's so much stuff, like the little book. I loved making the little book. I thought that was really cool. And I think there's a lot of books actually that go in here. And I think we make them that go into this. There's loads of little holes that you can put stuff in. But like you said, I think it looks very cluttered.
Yeah.
So we've decided to use poor Winnie the Pooh basement as a storage drawer. I think that's what you've said, hasn't it? It's your build, so
you can go on vacation to like another person's room.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh isn't going to be in the dungeon. You know, it's going to be like probably most basements and attics. It's just going to be where you
store everything.
Yeah, and I think the basement is going to be a perfect place for all of it, because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of little stuff. I think things like the wheelbarrow and carrots. I don't know. You could display them on the base.
You could, yeah. If the base bit is wide enough.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will be, and we could have Winnie the Pooh out there as well. And there's a few things that we can mix and match in some of the rooms.
Yeah.
For him not to be there, but obviously a lot of the bits will probably just go into the drawer. In fact, I think the girl that made it in Japan, Nappy, I think her name is. I think she also used it to store a lot of her stuff in as well.
I think it just makes sense.
But that's for me the only design flaw this has got.
Maybe even as we go forward, once the drawer is built, start deciding what's going to be.
Yeah, once the drawer is built, it's going to slide in and out, obviously. But yeah, I find that a bit of a design flaw, because you can't sit in any direction. It's almost like it got it's almost like they got so much stuff and they were like, well, what could we do? And then they've done Winnie the Pooh's basement, and then they've done loads of stuff, and they're going, hang on, we've missed Winnie the Pooh out, and they're like, oh, we've got this gap underneath the house.
Let's
just shove it in there. And sort of really haven't thought of it at all. I mean, you could display it with it out, but then that would increase the base of this by quite a bit. So
and I don't really think we've got the space to have it
and
out all
obviously
the time.
as well, dust.
Yes.
is a problem as well.
Dust.
In any house. So I think having the drawer out, that would just accumulate dust
just
like no.
attract the
Yeah,
dust.
yeah. I think with the front of the house up and the windows closed, you're going to get a little bit of dust, but not as much as if you left the drawer open. That would just accumulate dust, and I don't. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's the sort of thing that you would get and pull out, and then go, oh look, there's another, and then you push back in. It's one of those gimmicks that we have. If you've watched my channel, that I've said, like with our part works and things like that, where they have the light functions and the noises and stuff like that.
On the cars.
On the cars and the Terminator and stuff like that. And, you know, you sort of don't... I mean, the Terminator, we use the lights on a lot. But the sound effects, I don't think I've used once or twice in the 2 years I've built it.
I haven't used any of it.
And you've got your lights on your car and my DeLorean.
I've not used any of them.
We've not yet. I think the lights will get used more on the house.
Yeah, for the effects, because even with it closed, it'll look nice because you'll see the little lights through the windows.
But that drawer, I don't think a lot of people will. I think it will literally just be a great place. I mean, if you've got kids and you're playing, it'll be a great place just to bung everything in.
Anything that you don't want them to touch.
Yeah, and the kids could come along and just pull it open and take what they want out of the drawer and put it in.
I mean, you could have the house set for them so that they could play, and the littler bits that you wouldn't want them to touch, put in the drawer.
Well, yeah, but for me, it's just a bit of a design flaw. Like I said, there should have been something there. I mean, someone said to me, "What about the back?" The back has 2 wooden panels because there is a battery pack and a circuit board going in the back there, and all the wires. So you couldn't do the perspex on there. Someone said the front, you could do half of the front, but once again, it's being surrounded by a sort of a surround. It's got a little like porch at the front, so that section would have to come out to be perspex. The drawer itself, where Winnie the Pooh comes in and out, that would be the perfect place for it. But it would be in a very awkward angle.
On the side
it would be on the side, and like I said, you would then miss some of the detail if you had, because Winnie the Pooh has a little tiny room inside. You'd miss some of the detail in that as well. But I mean, it's really cluttered as it is, and obviously they've extended it now to 80 issues, which is madness.
We're not doing the extended bit.
We're not doing the extended bit, no. But the house will definitely be complete in 120 issues. There's no question to that. It will definitely be complete. And then obviously the 80 issues are then the add-on bits where you do the summer and winter bits. But even then it'll be so cluttered still. There's so many bits. It's great that you get all these bits, and some of them are really good, like the kids blocks and all the stuff for the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah, the TV.
But
caddies and that.
Yeah, but then you've got things like the boys, for Donald Duck's room, and stuff like that. The surfboard and things like that, where they're just placed. They're the things that will just fall over within. You wouldn't even have to sneeze. So
they'll be the things that'll be in the drawer.
They'll be the things that will go in the drawer. I mean, you can attach them to the wall. There is going to be paintings as well and stuff to go on the walls. But there's like I said, with things like this, and I want to just point that out. You know, you stick that on there. There's nothing to stick it, but obviously you come along and you sort of. It only takes a little knock, really. And not only that, you've mauled out. You know, they've all took a tumble as well, and so I think if you're going to do it as a display house, your best bet is to, I think, stick down, not glue.
To attach.
Yeah, you know, maybe double-sided sticky tape, or I would use blue tack. I think it's a little bit easier. It holds it really well, and it doesn't leave a mark when you take it on.
Damage or anything.
Yeah. So there would be, I mean, certain things like the chairs and the units, they would be all right, but it's the little things like this that you know for a fact that, you know, you'd only have to move it and it'll tumble down. But yeah, I think where we are, issue 40, it's a fairly big.
Yeah. It's done quite a lot, really.
It's quite a lot. What I'm going to do in the next part of this video, if you want to stay tuned, is I'm going to place this on the top and then show you actually how big this is. Now, obviously, I know in the next issue, it actually gets attached properly, and we'll have joists in that, but this is just going to rest. Yeah, we've had to put a bit of tape on there just to hold it. But like I said, once the joist's in place, that'll be fine. But I'm going to place it on top and show you the size of this. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So there's all of our bits in the tub. We bought this tub, I think it was about £4, £3 from B&M. It fits everything, but I think we're gonna need a second one.
Yeah.
Because we're running out of room. So what I'm gonna do is attempt to put this on here. Now obviously we'll do this in the video next week, but I wanted to show you here on what can happen. Now I'm on a wide angle lens. There's no other way of doing this other than a big wide angle lens, and it probably looks a bit strange, and that's why. So there we go. That's what it will look like. So there it is, and you can sort of see the size of it already. Obviously the drawers going in here. It does. Don't worry about this bit, that will get built up later. But yeah, that's our test fit. Fits really well actually. I think it's all right. It's doing all right. Obviously it will go on properly
next week.
But until then, we now have to take that apart, and the final thing will get done next week. So anyway, look, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.